Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. I'm Matt, that's Christy, that's Alonso. We are here at my home talking about Zombieland Double Tap. Who wants to describe this one?
I will. So we just talked about Maleficent, which was a sequel that came 5 years after the original and nobody needed it. Here we have Zombieland Double Tap, 10 years after the original, and really, truly nobody needs this. Like, I wasn't itching to find out what Tallahassee and Columbus and Wichita and Little Rock were up to. And they really are the exact same people that they were. Like, they haven't evolved in ways that are like meaningful or compelling. Like, this movie, I don't know why it exists. I mean, Ruben Fleischer, who directed the first one and directed this one, went on to bigger, better stuff. You know, this is like that was his debut. That's what put him on the map. And he went on to do a whole lot of other stuff, including Venom. The writers are back. The writers went on to do the Deadpool movies. Yeah. And this is trying to do that same kind of cheeky fourth wall breaking self-referential stuff that the first Zombieland did and the Deadpool movies do. But it's just like more of the same. It's like the same exact movie as the first one, but like with more characters and faster, stronger zombies and more stuff. And yet it also feels like less. That's Sabrina shaking off her excited self in the background there. So, it's been 10 years and zombies still roam the earth, but Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin have learned to fight them off. And they have formed this kind of makeshift family where Woody Harrelson is like the, politically incorrect dad, and Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone are like the young lovebirds, and Abigail Breslin is like the little sister who's rebelling, and they live in the White House, which they've turned into a frat house, essentially. It's full of like sporting equipment and Christmas lights and empty beer cans, and zombies still exist, and there's a big, long, like slow motion sleigh fest to Metallica, Master of Puppets. Yeah. Master, and it should be fun. It should be, but it's not. And then it becomes a road trip movie, and they go to Graceland, and then they have to go to some other place. And why? I mean, like, why do we?
This is one of the most tossed off movies.
Yes.
Like, it feels like every production meeting ended with it. Yeah, I guess. Like there's nobody seems particularly. It's not like you see movies where you can tell like it was sort of a contractual obligation and they don't feel happy to be there. But there's nobody in this movie that needs it either. Yeah. And there's nothing about the movie that presents itself as being remotely like, we have another idea. It's the
same idea again.
It's the same idea again. It feels like one of those like Rat Pack movies, like not even Ocean's 11, like Robin and the Seven Hoods, where like there were a lot of really good long lunches and plenty of cocktails, but like, and in their off time they made a movie. Like Emma Stone has an Academy Award.
Mm-hmm. Jesse Eisenberg has a nomination.
Ocean's 11, the original Ocean's 11 is absolutely that movie.
Yeah. This just feels so like an afterthought in all ways.
And yet it's a decade later.
Yes.
And so it's not like it was right after the first one. Like the first one was a big hit. Let's do another one really fast. No. It was a decade later.
I'm baffled that this movie exists because nothing about it explains why it exists. And then, and it leaves you with all these questions like, there's a whole like hippie commune where they make you turn in your guns on the way in, and they're not happy about that, but they do it anyway. And then the zombies show up and how do we fend them off? And it's like, okay, except that this commune apparently has been around for ages. How have they survived until now without guns if nobody thought about how to keep zombies out? Like
there are a lot of questions like that.
Yes, just stuff like that. It is. I was never mad at this movie, and I was never bored by this movie, but I never like laughed more than I just kind of went, huh.
I enjoyed Zoey Deutch.
Yes.
She deserves better, but she's very cute, and she's like this dippy blonde that they run into in the mall who has survived in the mall this whole time, and she gives it more than exists on the page through just like the sheer will of her adorableness. And she's so freaking cute.
And I'm
so
happy
likable.
to see Rosario Dawson in anything, even when she is stuck playing the love interest of Woody Harrelson, who is 18 years older than she.
And they have no chemistry, regardless of the age difference. Like there's nothing to that. It happens all of a sudden, and there's just no real connection there between them. Yeah, I like this more than we did.
Yeah, I like this one. This is almost exactly the same movie as the first one, right? This is like the band that you like, that you've seen, that hasn't really toured for 10 years and only really had one good album, and they get back together and they do another tour and they play all the hits and maybe once or twice somebody's kid comes out and does another song.
So this is Zombieland at the county fair.
Kind of, yeah. But it's what you wanted, and I mean, again,
is it what you wanted, Matt? Did you want this?
Well, I don't know that I wanted it, but it's certainly what I expected.
That's the question.
The first one at least, it flirts with a little bit of emotional heft, especially when you get into Woody Harrelson talking about losing his kid. When Tallahassee when Eisenberg's character realizes that Tallahassee's been talking about his kid all along. This one doesn't it flirts with that. You get a couple of new characters. You get the riff on the two guys that are exactly like them.
And that's a funny idea.
Right.
But that's a Seinfeld episode.
Right. There's a few funny ideas in here that they never explore. And I think clearly nobody put the effort in to really explore it. And that's a little frustrating, but this movie delivers almost exactly what the first one does. Doesn't go anywhere new, but I was kind of okay with that. Like it's goofy enough and breezy enough that I was okay.
I mean, the first one at least kind of felt like, all right, look, you're sick of zombies, but we're going to take a cheeky attitude and explore this in a goofier, more comic way. And now it's like 10 years later, and we're really sick of zombies, and this movie doesn't have anything new to add to that conversation.
And it starts to, it flirts with the idea of, the zombies have evolved and we've categorized them and there's different aspects to them, but it never actually explores that at all.
They don't really do anything with that.
They don't do anything with that. There's a lot of stuff that they never do anything with. That's Gabe asking me to pick him up later, which I will.
Go be a good dad and pick up your kid.
Yeah. No, later.
Later. Right.
Yeah,
so
later.
Cool.
So, look, like if you like the first Zombieland and you want more of the same and you're looking forward to this because you like the first one, this is going to deliver more of the same. And that's okay.
Here's my question for you. A lot of the same devices that are so fun in the Deadpool movies exist here as well, but not as effectively. Like all the fourth wall breaking, all the acknowledgement of the fact that this is a zombie movie that knows it's a zombie movie.
The slow-mo violence.
And also just like, there are little jokes. There's like wall-to-wall narration from Jesse Eisenberg's character, and the stuff about how jokes about put down your milk duds, or like if this part were in 4DX, da 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 da. So Deadpool does those things too, and they're funny. And here it's not. And I'm trying to understand why it works less well here.
Because Deadpool is insane and super crass, and Deadpool doesn't take anything seriously, and he knows he's breaking the fourth wall, and it's not quite shock value, but that character I think lends himself to a more kind of madcap fourth wall break than Eisenberg's character does.
Yeah.
Right? Like Eisenberg's like kind of nudging
gently
you,
nudging.
gently nudging.
The character's sort of anal retentive, so he can't bust out in the way that Deadpool does in that style.
Right. Whereas Deadpool's doing it to fuck with the audience and everybody else in the movie.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me understand that. Because I'm like, I know I like this elsewhere and I don't like it here and I can't quite articulate why. You might want to stay through the credits.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But no,
sure. Yes.
Sure.
Like, again, I can't even get mad at this movie. I'm just sort of like, I saw it, I guess, and within 2 weeks I'll mostly have forgotten it.
It's a good thing you saw this before Train to Busan.
Yeah, right. Oh, whoa, no kidding. But when I was trying to think of the first Zombieland of 10 years ago, all I could remember was the Bill Murray scene. Like that was it. That was all. I had to read the entire wiki page to remember who these people are, what happens, the whole thing about the Woody Harrelson's kid.
That first mention of Bill Murray, though, is really funny. That's a
remember
really funny bit.
Yeah, there's a good callback there. But yeah, it's just, again, I'm not even mad at this movie. I'm just like, why are you here?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying 4. You, Alonso?
What did I
6.6, you said.
6.6.
Do you want to stick with that?
Yeah, just because, again, there was never a point at which I was like, I was angry and looking for the door, but I was just sort of like, is this going to go anywhere?
Is this going to get good?
Do anything?
Matt, what's your number?
I give it a 7.
Okay.
I apparently loved it.
Apparently you loved it. 5.9 is our number. It is at 64% on the tomato meter.
And it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay, where we talk about TV and trailers, and sometimes we watch an older movie that our Patreon subscribers pick. This month it is Train to Busan. So if you want to hear us talk about that, go join up at Patreon. And if you have already, thank you. We super appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.